Welcome to the Rocker Skating Podcast. It is interview extravaganza week this week before the World Championships. I have another great interview for you all today. It is Lia Pereira, Trennt Michaud, the Canadian pairs champions here with me. How have you two been the last few weeks since the high of the Olympics?
We've been really good. Um, it's been an interesting process. A lot of athletes who we've known have talked about the post-Olympic, pre-Worlds kinda time frame, and we've heard lots of different reviews of how that might feel. For us, we've been doing good. We really enjoyed our time in Italy, obviously, we had a great experience there and lots of lessons learned, but also our team at home has been really good with managing training and just keeping the enjoyment factor but still pushing hard enough to be ready for Worlds. But I would say it's gone by faster than expected, and it's been going well, the training.
Yeah, you had a whirlwind of an Olympics for sure. Starting with getting there and being like, oh, we're gonna have to do the whole team event this time. Tell me about that whole experience. I mean, you were obviously prepared to do anything, right? You were at the Olympics. You were going to do the team event anyway, and you were practicing and getting ready for it. But tell me about how that all transpired and how it felt to have to really step in for the team.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we had already been prepared to do the team event for the free, so we were already trained. It's not like we were like, okay, we're going to be competing 2 weeks later. We're just going to be here and like kind of on the upslope still. We were already, ready to compete. Realistically, 2 days later, we just had to add a short into it. So, we really wanted to, give it our all and give it our best for Team Canada, which is a really cool aspect. We've never done a team event, and we're both very much team sport, team player people, hence why we are a team. We're not skating by ourselves. So it was really nice to be able to, skate for your country, skate for your friends and your teammates as well. I mean, also getting the chance to skate 4 times at the Olympics, that's pretty cool. A lot of people don't get to go to the Olympics and not even necessarily skate 4 times in one Olympics. So we were really honored to have that privilege. And we obviously wanted to put our best foot forward for Max and Deanna as well, who unfortunately weren't able to be there for the team event. And yeah, we just wanted to use it to the best of our abilities to also help us moving on into the individual event. And we felt ready to go because our coaching staff and our team had us prepared right for when we got there. And yeah, we had a great time. It was a pretty amazing experience.
Yeah, I think the short for us all season has been such a great vehicle, and we've always loved training and competing it. So, especially when we were able to do it with our team, I think we were both feeling obviously nervous for our first Olympic performance, especially being part of the team event. And as soon as our names got called out for the 6 minute warm up and we saw our team box standing and cheering and waving the flags, it was just like such a confirmation of we are here, we're at the Olympics, and we have Team Canada behind us. And I think that was a really special moment. Even though it wasn't really like televised or anything that you sort of expected, it was just like that moment that we kind of saw our team standing there. It was really special.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about that team event dynamic being one so different than a lot of things that you skaters generally experience, but two, it's a different kind of atmosphere, it's a different way of competing that maybe you're not used to. One thing that we've talked about a lot with other skaters is sort of like the order of events. Going first with the team event or going first with the individual event. I've heard both sides. I think a lot of skaters tend to want to get the individual out of the way and then make the team event feel a little bit like World Team Trophy. Curious to hear your thoughts as pair skaters, right? You all had about a week to recover in between. What did you think about the scheduling?
I mean, we've never done it any other way, so it's hard to say. Like, we haven't done a World Team Trophy even, so to say, like, like obviously that is not like right after Worlds, but it's long enough after Worlds that it's, different time period and stuff. And we had the week in between, and we were, we took the 2 days off afterwards and did our things that we had like planned with our strength and conditioning coach and everything. And we felt very prepared and ready to go for our own individual events, and we felt, like we would running into a competition with some extra practices at the event that we were actually there for. So we felt even more comfortable. Um, so yeah, it's hard to say. I wouldn't want to say it's one or the other yet because we've never done it the other way. So it's hard to say unless you experience it. But I get same thing. I get both sides of it.
I think we appreciated our schedule the most, watching the ice dancers do the team event and their event right away, and even the men having 2 days off in between. That's something that doesn't usually happen at a skating competition, so I feel like we got pretty lucky on our side of the scheduling. By the time it was our short program day, we both looked at each other, we're like, "Okay, like, we're ready to do this all over again." We had our downtime. We had time at the practice rink and the main rink still to, like, kind of get into the zone, and it was, like, a really good period of time and length, but, yeah, I don't know, I think the team event relieved some stress for us a little bit and, like, kinda had
Hmm.
let us take a deep breath and get comfortable, so I think I preferred it that way, like Trent said, we don't know the opposite, but I think, it was nice to feel the support behind us, and it felt a little bit less intense.
Yeah, and you didn't have to skate on Friday the 13th, which
Yeah.
was a good thing. Um, Tell me also about, the Olympics as it was unfolding, the sort of unknowns of your teammates, right? Deanna and Max were sort of in limbo of like, we don't know if they're coming. We don't know if they're gonna withdraw. And then finding out that they would come, how did the team, like Team Canada, feel during that time? Were you all kind of in your own zones, or was that did that affect the team and the morale a little bit?
I think we were all in our own zones and wanting to do, we were all there to do our job, but at the same time, had talked about it like between each of us, just like at different points, and we were all hoping for them to be better and be able to come to the event. And we'd been asked if we had been messaging them or talking to them, and we tried to leave them with their own space because mass media has been hitting them all from all angles on this. So that's the way we kind of we had them in our thoughts and we were hoping they would be there because we've been competing against them for, this whole quad. And for myself, I've been competing against Max and Deanna for a long time. So, to see them live their dream as well, that we also, we both had hands in each other's journeys through this experience. We definitely wanted them to be there. But yeah, we tried not to be, we wanted them to have their own space because I wouldn't, in their shoes, I would probably want that as well if we were like sitting at home trying to, do this. So, but we all were really happy once we'd been told by, our team that they would be coming. And it was very exciting when they got there and we all finally got to take our big team photo together with the rings was really nice. But yeah, no, I think it was, just had them in our thoughts the whole times. And it was really nice to have them there in the end.
Yeah, first Olympics, right? The two of you were, I don't know. I feel like the two of you really kind of took in the experience. A lot of the athletes I felt in this Olympics really took advantage of the Olympic experience, the village, the opening, the closing, as much as they can possibly fit in without, sort of tiring themselves out.
Mhm.
Um, I think also very different from 4 years ago when we didn't have as robust of an Olympic experience because it was COVID Olympics. So, um, tell me about that. Tell me about the 3 weeks, your favorite things, your less favorite things, and anything that stands out to you from your time in Milan.
I think it was really cool, like you said, because Beijing was the most recent Olympics and it was kind of unknown and there was not a lot of activities maybe that you could participate in. We weren't there, but Maddie skis it, so we train alongside, had some stories, and even our coach Mike Marinero, like he went to Pyeongchang and Beijing, and I think even just the past 3 games have been so different. So heading into Milan, I kind of was like asking them for advice or just like curious about what their experience was like, just so that I had some expectations. And then after hearing their stories and the differences of what we had kind of heard rumblings about in Milan, I was like, I think we're just gonna have to wait until we get there and experience it in the present because there's really nothing that compares. Even just this Olympics having 5 separate villages, is something completely new to the Olympics in general. So, it was definitely very cool to not have any expectations, I thought. We definitely took advantage of the opening ceremonies. I mean, we competed the team short on that day, and we were up, I think, at 5 in the morning for our 10:30 AM
Yeah, so
competition.
yeah, it was
And then by the time the team event was done that day, we went back to our house. I never knew what to call that thing, but our home, the village, and for
Your dorm room.
yeah.
yeah, maybe for like 2 hours, and then we were on the bus on the way to the opening ceremonies, which was super cool. Also very long, but exactly what you said, like, managing energy levels and, like, knowing when to fit in a little power nap or when to grab a snack, just, like, experiencing I think that was the most Olympic day that we could have ever had was to compete in the team event for Canada and then also be a part of the Olympic opening ceremonies was, like, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think the interesting thing, like you said, there for also being the first one in the Olympics since COVID, there was such an experience like throughout. I mean, you probably felt it, but like even when we went out to like out of the village or anything, there were so many fans, and so people were so excited. It seemed to be there and to be watching, and you saw it throughout all the events, like sold out crowds at like all the skating events, all the speed skating events, everything in Milan. So it was really a great experience, and it felt like what the Olympics in my head had was going to be like. So that was obviously really nice to, kind of like check off one of those boxes of that. But at the same time, also, I just felt like the best way to describe it was like 10-year-old me was freaking out for 3 weeks, and the 29-year-old athlete in me was at a really calm place. Like it felt like we were, because it's been part of the plan for so long and we were prepared. And also because we've gone through competitions where, you know, some food might be different. The sleeping arrangements might be weird. Like just having gone through experiences that we were going into the games of like, okay, we're ready to take anything on, sort of thing. If we need to figure out stuff, we need to figure out stuff. Luckily, we didn't really have to do that. The COC was really great. We had a really great athlete lounge in our building for Team Canada that had a lot of snacks and foods that we were all used to having daily, and then was a nice area for us to all hang out. I mean, I spent a lot of time in there hanging out, chatting with other athletes and everything, which was also part of the reason, of the Olympics, and it was super exciting to be there for. So, yeah, I mean, on my end, I almost have zero complaints. I just thought it was a great experience in general, and also it was our first game, so we didn't have anything to compare it to, which I also think was super nice in that sense as well.
Yeah. I mean, everybody talks about this too when they go to the Olympics. It's a whole different thing because
Hmm.
everything is amplified. Your experience there is just like overloaded with sensory stuff, but also your the amount of exposure that you get, that figure skating gets, is just multiplied in like in such a different kind of order of magnitude, to the point where Jesse Ware gave you flowers for your short program. Like you were, um, you had those experiences that you probably would otherwise not have if it weren't for the Olympics. And so, um, that short program for you, my segue, is, as you were saying, such a special program for you. It's been a great program all season. Tell me about the origins of that program, and then also tell me about the couple of times you skated it at the Olympics and you were third after the short program in the individual event. So how did that all feel?
Music process for us is interesting. We're both very passionate and we both feel very strongly about the music we skate to, and that was actually one of the things that I was really happy that Trent felt the same way because I was very picky about music as a single skater. Um, and he is also I wouldn't say picky, but, like, particular. Like, we know how we feel when we listen to something. So, I think it was Madison Hubble who sent us the piece,
Mhm.
and we had listened to it, and it's funny because our coach had had the same piece in a playlist for us for this year. So it was like a weird full circle moment that both of them had kind of seen this vision of us skating to that music. Um, and it was a really smooth and easy choreographical process. With Madison Hubble, she kind of took the lead on that, and she's just amazing, and we look up to her very much, and all that whole crew in London. But it was also really cool because we've been working with them for now 3 years, so they have really got to know us as skaters, we've gotten to know them, and so that process of making the program was very cool, and she had kinda had, like, a storyline already set out when they cut the music, and we really connected to it right away.
Yeah, I mean, just on one tidbit from that, like the first day we were there doing choreography with Maddie and Adrian, Maddie had, like Leah said, took kind of the reins for most of the program, and she started skating to it. And Leah and I looked at each other like, oh, this is going to be good. Like right away, we were like, oh, wow,
Losing
this is going to
level
be
that
good.
is. We usually
Yeah.
struggle with that because she made
So
everything look good, but we were like, "Okay, if we can, like, even do 50% of this, this is gonna be special."
yeah, so I think that was a big part of two things. One, that we love this program so much and that it was built around how we skated while still improving our own skating and trying to push ourselves, obviously, because we like to push ourselves out of our comfort box, and that's how we want to continually improve our skating skills, because we know at the end of the day, you know, that's what's going to put us in the top group.
Yeah.
That's we can all do the elements in senior. It's those extra little pieces, that extra little skating, that'll put us in the top group. So we are always continually trying to work on that. And that's also like one of the things that we both love about skating. Like, we both have fallen in love with skating because of performances by other people. So we want to give that to fans, the judges, everyone. So that's part of it. But also at the same time, when we did Stars last year, we pretty much did a short every show. So we did, one of our programs had a twist, side by side jump, a throw, a lift, and a death spiral in it. So we just didn't do side by side spin. Not as fun show skating. So
No, less fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it also really helped us going into this season, because were like, it shows you travel we did some shows where we traveled that night to the venue. So it's like, we got to figure this out. We want to put this down and show the audience, this great program that we've done. So that helped us take that like confidence from Stars into the performance of this. And I also think Stars just made us better performers once again, getting to be out there with, some great performers, and working with Kurt, getting to watch Elvis, working with Jason, like being a part of the cast with Jason Brown, just some people who are like such standout stars in the actual skating aspect, really helped us. Like, we just tried to take as much as that into this season as we could, and just keep developing it throughout the season. And really trying not to just be like, oh, this is good. Okay, we're here. Like, we just, even if it's a little bit, we got to get the little bits, like, and continue with that. Like, so I think that we did a really great job with the short. Obviously, was one of the standout performances for the season for us, but also just taking that into our own skating in general.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about the continuous desire to push yourselves forward and so forth. The two of you got together in 2022, and then like months later were sixth at Worlds. And that was a very like big start to the two of you as a pair. Take me back the last 4 years, because the last 4 years has been interesting in not only in the two of you kind of growing up in as a pair, but in the pairs in general across the world, where the level of pair skating continued to go up every single year,
Mhm.
and you've had to figure out how to kind of craft your own space in the world of pairs, right? And there were times when maybe sometimes it felt a little bit stagnant, and then you found a new gear and you pushed yourself further. Tell me about some of the like highlights and where you felt like the last 4 years you were able to really get yourself into a different level.
Yeah, it's very interesting going back and thinking about it and just, like, even watching old programs where we were like, "Yes, we are so good." And now I look
Yeah,
back
we're rock stars.
and I'm like, or, sometimes we get comments like, "Oh, you can really see their newness in the skating," and I'm like, "What are these people talking about? Like, we look great." And I'm like, "Okay, clearly we were new. Clearly we've improved a lot." Um,
Yeah.
but it is very nice to look back on, and yes, coming 6th at our first Worlds was something that I was not expecting. I think I was, like, extremely naive to what all of that was about. We had done our first international, I guess, in the fall, Croatia,
December. Yeah.
December, and we had placed 3rd with, like, a throw double sow. I think actually we did 2 throw doubles.
Two throw
Mhm.
doubles. Yeah. No
Most
Yeah.
throw. We
people
just
at
did
that
triple twists and jumps.
Yeah, and most people at that point were doing planned side-by-side double sows, like, to even
Right.
watch the growth of pairs, whereas the top teams are doing now triple toe, double axel, and, solo triple jump, like, even just watching that growth from everybody is very inspiring, and I think it's a really great thing for pair skating in general, just having the little kids looking up to just the difficulty and just, like, precision to pair skating. I think that's really great for the discipline itself. Um, but yeah, I think actually partially looking back on our old skating is one of the things that really inspired us to come back to Gladiator. I don't know if this is the proper time to segue into this, but,
Let's talk
um,
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
we usually our team will in the month of December this year, we didn't make Grand Prix final, which we were hoping to do, but we know that the season can be very long, so we kinda took December as, like, a bit of a refresh, and so our coach Allison had us skating to different pieces of music. Same program, same layout, just skating to different pieces of music, kinda just to re-spark some of the choreography highlights, just to kinda, like, maybe move differently. And the one day she kinda came in with, like, a little smirk on her face and clicked Gladiator, and we were like, "What?" So, we skated our mission long program to our old Gladiator piece, and we were like, "Wow, this is" we really resonated with this music, and we loved it so much, and we feel like we've grown so much as skaters and performers that this is something that maybe we wanna bring back, and that was not even the intention at all. We had no intention of changing our music, we had just kind of really felt something, and so the next day we came in and we skated it again, and then we kinda started changing some transitions and, had a talk with our team, the 3 of us, and then got some outside little opinions on just if we felt like it was a good idea, and we really did. So we kinda just, like, started right away of just, like, rejigging the program, and, um, yeah, I think it was a really cool process for us just because we have, like, expanded our performance range and we have, lengthened our skating, we're faster, we kinda, like, still felt that passion towards that music and almost felt like Gladiator never really had its moment, like, we won Grand Prix de France that year, we made it to final, we had a lot of accomplishments within that season, but we just felt like it needed, like, one more staple of a performance and that we still had some stones unturned, and, it was a really cool process, and a side note, I was very excited for part 2 of the Gladiator dress because that's one of my favorites, so I was like, "I need to not
She
make
there was
a decision based on the fact that I want a new dress. Let
yeah.
me let me decide that this is
She
a good program and not just about the new dress."
I will give it to her. She did say that out loud. She's like, "Okay, what hold up. I gotta take myself out of this for a sec. I don't need it's not about the dress. Okay?" You're like, "Okay, that's fair. Good. I'm proud of you for saying that."
It is, but it isn't, right? It
Yeah.
is, but it isn't.
Mhm.
Um, at the Olympics, you had a great skate in the team event. You probably wanted a little bit better in the free skate in the individual event, but still, like those 4 programs that you did there were some of the best ones of your career. I mean, under the pressure, under the the sort of occasion of it all, right? How does it feel now that you are bona fide Olympians? You are able to go to a tattoo parlor and say, "Give me those rings." There it is. There it is. Um, how does it feel now? Do you go into your what 4th World Championships together? Do you go into that with a different kind of motivation now?
Yeah, I definitely think, there's a level of confidence that we can take from the Olympics and from nationals. And we took that confidence from nationals into the Olympics and it helped us a lot. And we're excited to take the Olympic experience we had into worlds and for the same thing. And, it is really cool. Outside of the skating fact, one of the things that I found that was really, really cool about this whole Olympic experience is, just seeing the amount of joy that random strangers have felt from watching the Olympics and like just even being out in town, whatever, and people recognizing you and say, thank you so much for your performances and representing the country so well, and seeing like that legitimate joy in their eyes and their face, and that part has been really cool. So that also, I think, we carry that with us too because that was part of what we wanted to do and what we still want to do. So we're like, yeah, okay, let's do that. Like we can do that more. Like there's still some left in the tank. It's not like, you know it was the best performances we could ever do or ever hope for. Like there were some really great things in both of them, and obviously, we were very happy with all of them. But we have we feel like we can still give a little bit more and do a little bit more. So I think we're excited to have that opportunity to do that again, but also take that those tools that we learned from the Olympics and from nationals with us, because that's what as I think one of our greatest strengths is that we good, bad, ugly, amazing. We take those tools and put them in our toolbox, and we use them for whenever we need to down the road. And we just threw more stuff into our toolbox that's going to be really helpful for us at Worlds and down the line. So we're really excited to be walking into Worlds as Canadian champions and Canadian Olympians.
As performers, you're always wanting to improve. And Trent and I kind of get in this hole sometimes of even competing really well or training really well. And the first thing we bring up is what we want to do better. And I think that um, part of me and us trying to really like stay proud and excited of our performances. We lived it, we experienced it, we felt proud sitting in that kiss and cry. It didn't matter what the scores had said. We knew how we skated and that we prepared as best we could to get up to that moment. So, I mean, in most cases, then we sat in the kiss and cry and we're also extremely proud of the score that we were able to put up. But we recognize that that's out of our control. So we really try to focus on the fact of what we can control and how we're going to put ourselves in the best position to do that. But all that being said as well, I really tried to not go back and watch our performances for a while because I really just wanted to sit with how it felt rather than what it looked like. I have now, I think it was maybe only a week ago, gone back and watched and have been able to kind of, highlight some things that we can improve on and we can really just perfect before Worlds. And I think that's kind of like the perfect balance of just like feeling the performance, feeling all the emotions associated with that, and then allowing space for us to just sit with that and then to kind of get into like the athlete and perfectionism in us at a later date. So I think we did a really good job of that as well, of just like being present and enjoying the moment of all four performances.
Well, back to Europe for the two of you and to the rest of the skating community next week for the World Championships. Excited to see you, and best of luck with the rest of your training and your travels going over there.
Awesome. Thanks, Jackie. Thanks for having us on.
You know?
Of course. Bye. Thank you.